Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. So in this video we are going to take a look at the TEQ Transforming Frieza, the Glacial Prestige TEQ Transforming Frieza first form, who by the way recently got a ZZA and has now become a extreme class lead of 130%, along with gaining the super attack effects of raising attack and defense and lowering the unit's defense. He also has attack and defense of 110% now, ki +3 plus an additional attack of 10% and defense of 40% when attacking superclass enemies. He recovers 11% HP at the start of turn and transforms when conditions are met. Those conditions are fairly simple. He will basically transform every single damn turn, so it's really no problem. In terms of build, you're going to want to go for mainly crit now, whereas in the past you kind of wanted to get a bit more additionals. Now he has high enough defense and stacking there, it doesn't matter. So you're going to want to go crit mainly now. And in terms of links, he has a very good link set. Thirst for Conquest, Metamorphosis, Big Bad Bosses, Fear and Faith, and of course he has the universe's most malevolent and fierce battle. So very solid link set and on a massive amount of categories. So this is obviously very good for him. He's on a ton of categories, obviously notably being Wicked Bloodlines, but he's on Resurrected Warriors, Movie Bosses, Planet Namek Saga, Transformation Boost, and pretty much everything above the sun that a Frieza unit can be on. So it's really awesome for him. In terms of Frieza, something obviously with his new EZA brought about some new stats. He's had a huge stat increase, and you'll notice that when he transforms, which is every turn, he'll gain attack and defense of 10% per transformation stage, along with a switch between that attack and defense that he gains against superclass enemies. So instead of having 40% defense, it'll slowly whittle down by 10% to go all the way up to being an attack buff of 50%. What this means is basically Frieza gets more and more offensively orientated, but the stacking of his defense on his super attack means that he will remain a defensive unit, or a very solid defensive unit. Couple that with recovery of 15% HP, he will be solid, rock solid in fact. So this card is looking really good. Mine is level 10 linked. He is rainbow, so we're going to be seeing the absolute best of him. So let's take a look at that now. Let's see what this new Frieza looks like. So I did a review on Frieza previously actually on my channel, and he was pretty good just at level link 10. Obviously he wasn't, let's say, one of the best units in the game, but he was definitely still very solid enough at level link 10. I used him in the Extreme Tech ESBR. So let's get a good look at him. Let's see how he performs, and yeah, get a good view of this new look Frieza. Overall though, he's definitely improved a lot. The raw stats alone make him way more viable. And then just the simple tweak of him having defense every stage of his transformation has kept him, well, made him very good defensively. So he's just way better defensively overall. Far more impressive on the defensive aspect. Not only does he start at a good point defensively, but he can stack to a high enough point that he can handle all of these new updates to content and all of these new in-game content events, things like the LGEGT, things like the Gods of Destruction, all those sort of things he can now handle way better than before. So it's very good. His leader skill, Extreme Class, is reliable. It'll help out tons of you, so definitely something you should focus on. We'll see here he's in the same turn as Cooler. Cooler is providing him a support. He's sitting there with 194,000 defense, so just shy of the 200k mark. He hasn't supered, so his defense would be higher had he been out on turn 1. And he is looking very solid. So we'll see those numbers and how they peak. And we'll get a look at his attack stat. I think 4 million or 5 million. He is fighting, 5 million. He is fighting a superclass, so remember he is getting that additional 20% attack boost, and he'll gain an additional 30% defense when he fires off that attack, plus the stacking of his defense as well. So just overall a crazy unit in terms of performance, just a ridiculous level of performance from that Frieza now that he is level Link 10 and Rainbowed and Easy Aid. I mean, this is pretty much prime conditions for that Frieza. There's very fewer, well, there's actually literally no better working conditions than him being paired up with Cooler and him being level Link 10. His Big Bad Bosses is activated, he's getting a huge buff from Universe's Most Malevolent, he's just hitting like a truck. And I mean, it shows, obviously. That being said, Frieza still does have some caveats. He can still start somewhat slow, so that is something to take note of. Not only does he start a little bit slow, but he also can still sometimes, depending on links, not perform as well as you'd like. His two key links are Nightmare and Fear and Faith, and Strongest Clan in Space, and Nightmare's only a one key link, I believe, so he does struggle a little bit for key if he doesn't have the right linking partner, so that's definitely can happen on some of his categories. But here we can see 270,000 defense, very, very impressive boy, and he's just going to stack that. It's just going to get higher and higher, and really just look very impressive. We're going to see his attack stat here, 6.2 million, small change, and it's just going to go up again. So as you can see, really nuts. Obviously that's why you want the crit. Those big attack stats aren't going to mean a lot if you aren't critting. So like I said, whereas before you wanted to give him some additionals to keep up his stacking and keep his defense up as he lost it throughout transformation, now it's definitely more a crit orientated split. Obviously First Form Frieza's SA, his super attack, can be farmed, so that is something that's a bonus. Can be farmed from the Prime Battle First Form Frieza, that drops from the Prime Battle stage, and we'll try him out here on a Movie Bosses team, just an interesting variation. Not really the best team for him. Generally I would say Wicked Bloodlines is probably his best team, maybe Planet Namek Saga is a good team for him now, but yeah, definitely not necessarily the greatest team for him, but still a very good team for him. Any team where you can have him paired up with either this physical Cooler or the Rainbow Strength Cooler, or anything like that, or a just Strength Cooler or Physical Cooler or anything like that, is definitely going to be the better focus for you. It's where you're going to see him shine the most. But that being said, he's really, really good as long as you have a solid pairing partner that can generate some key for him. So as long as he's getting some kind of key link, he should be fine and ready to go. He's got a great link set for all Wicked Bloodlines units, so pretty much any team where you can use him in pairing with any other decent Wicked Bloodlines unit, and he will be more than fine. That being said, obviously we want to see how he does against extreme type units as well, which is why we brought him into this Dokkan event. Just trying to get a idea of how he performs in this event against an extreme type Frieza. Obviously that's something that we'd like to see, because that'll give us a good idea of just how good Frieza is in all forms of content. I mean, it's great to have him, you know, blowing past superclass enemies, but we also need to figure out how decent he's going to be against extreme enemies. Some stages have a mix, some SPR stages have a mix of enemies, so it's always best to just know exactly who we're going against and, you know, how much damage we're going to do and things like that. And yeah, pretty much easy to take a look at that, and so we'll see how he does next turn. Of course, with all demos and reviews, we always get the unit in the 7th slot. It's punishment and karma for all the sins I've committed in life. So yeah, pretty straightforward. But fortunately, you know, it's all fun and games. We'll see good old Broly here and LR, and see how much damage he can do with double support. I have 3 dupes in Broly, so Broly does, you know, 5.7, a fairly decent number. Almost as much as third form Frieza would have by this turn. So yeah, pretty impressive from both really. Obviously, Frieza being 130% lead really helps him out in terms of a lot of content, makes him a bit more viable as a lead, and allows you to bring together some different teams. So we have 171,000 defense. Obviously, we haven't stacked it all. We also do not have any support on this rotation, so it's a bit of a better indication. Plus, we don't have the bonus defense against superclass enemies, so this will be a better indication overall of how Frieza's actually doing, or how good Frieza actually is. And 4.1 million, you can see that drop off from the lack of support and the bonus, but still a very good amount of damage. Nothing wrong with that level of damage at all. Still a very impressive number and performance. So we can see that although there's obviously a sizable increase when he is fighting superclass enemies, there is of course still a very solid performer against extreme class enemies as well. So yeah, just something to highlight and take note of. And yeah, a very, very good performance by good old Frieza. Unfortunately, we're basically going to end up kind of having to kill Frieza here with Broly. It's literally almost impossible not to, because he's got the support, he's got the links. So we're going to try, but it's going to be very difficult just because Broly does do a lot of damage. And so does in fact, all these Brolys are pretty damn good, so it is just something we are going to have to deal with on this movie bosses team. Broly and Broly are going to shake things up. But what we'll do is, although I don't usually do them, we will skip and take a look at how Frieza does in his later transformations, and get a good idea of how he performs at a golden level. I think that'll be good. And yeah, I mean, it would just be nice to see all the different phases of him. Obviously, you know, it's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit difficult to evaluate a transforming unit based on only seeing about halfway through his transformations, or, well, like missing the final two steps. And I think Frieza is definitely a unit that deserves to go that extra mile. So what we're going to do is we'll jump across to an event. I have been stacking him the entire time. So he started in turn 1. He managed to stack every single turn. And yeah, he's basically sitting with 450 or so thousand defense. He has double supports going on here. He does have the full support of Cooler. He has the support of the third form Frieza. He has every single link active as well, and he's level 10 links, and he is rainbow level, and he's easy 8. So this is pretty much the highest, well, one of the highest attack stats you're going to see, barring orb changing or double stacking of attack boosts. So yeah, this is definitely the highest one you're going to see, barring if we did something like put on Mecha Frieza and King Cold and had them apply their double attack boost to beforehand, then we might see a higher attack stat. But yeah, this is pretty much it. So 8.3 million. Pretty nuts, first off, that a unit can do that. And because it's his first turn, it's a guaranteed crit. 8.3 million guaranteed crit. That is insane. Doesn't matter how much support he had or whatever, that is literally LR levels of damage. And his defense was really good, 455,000 or so. So yeah, a great showing from Frieza there. We'll run one more turn just so we can see without the double support, just see a bit more of a slightly more realistic stat, I guess. But yeah, regardless of the fact, obviously double supports do help, but that level of defense, very, very good. We'll get him through most content. That level of offense obviously is very, very valuable. So yeah, overall, really happy with Frieza's performance there. So we'll get another good look at Frieza. Obviously, we still do have double supports, technically. But 400 or so thousand defense, so it's come down a little bit, obviously. We'll see what his offensive output looks like. Should be more than fine. I can't imagine it dipping much lower. This is the reason why you want to build Frieza into crits. the attack stats are just so big. With big bad bosses at level link 10, it's just so big, the attack stats, that you just really look at that. 8.1 million, so 8.3 and 8.1, and just absolutely insane. And yeah, look at that crit to finish him off. So yeah, you really do just want the crits, just to maximize the potential of that big boy attack stats. But we'll take a look at Frieza's links now. We've seen enough of his crazy performance, and we'll take a look at his links. So in terms of links, Frieza is super Wicked Bloodlines orientated. He's not really built for any other kind of team. I mean, he is, but he isn't. So in terms of links he might share with other people, we have Fear and Faith, Metamorphosis, I guess, is one of them, and we have Fierce Battle. And those are links that he could share with multiple people. We're looking at things like the Janemba, we're looking at things like Rildo, we're looking at things like Android 21, and all of them are really solid. Fear and Faith gives him key, Metamorphosis gives him some attack and defense, and yeah, just overall not a bad link set, probably the bare minimum of what you want from units that link with Frieza, units that aren't Wicked Bloodline units, I should say. And you can see there's a nice selection. There's a couple units from the Sworn Enemies team, there's a couple units from the Resurrected Warriors team, and there's a couple units from the Movie Bosses team. Just know that when this Boo transforms, he is going to lose one of the key links, which makes him not that great a partner. So if you're not going to transform this Boo tanks, then great. You can pair him with Frieza. If you are, then it's probably best not to pair him with them. They will gain big bad bosses, but they'll lose key, so it's one of those things. But that being said, they're still solid options as pairing partners for him. But realistically, you're going to want to maximize on him going for one of the other Wicked Bloodlines units. We've highlighted them throughout the video, but Physical Cooler, Strength Transforming Cooler, who I still don't have, but I mean, hey. And yeah, pretty much any of these units should be fine to pair with Frieza. Not only will they have a 3 to 4 links, but they will have 3 to 4 to 5 links, but they'll have the stable key links, along with also the high damaging links, being big bad bosses and Universe's most malevolent. As long as you have those 3 links going on, strongest clan in space, most malevolent, and big bad bosses, you should have a massive attack increase. Alongside that, of course, they also can have Fierce Battle, they can have strongest clan, Metamorphosis, they can have Thirst for Conquest, all super solid links as well. So it's just really going to depend on who you link him with. Just bear in mind that the Strength Prime Battle Frieza, you can't actually link him with. They don't link together, but they can now be run in the same team together, which means you can have 2 super strong first form Friezas in the same team. He shares 4 links with the new LR, which makes him a viable option for him. I think that makes him 3rd best option right off the bat, so that's also a very good pairing. Plus they both have big bad bosses, which is clearly the main link you kinda want. That being said, that's pretty much it from a linking perspective. So obviously Frieza did pretty incredible in this video. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you have Frieza? Do you not have Frieza? Is your Frieza link leveled? I know my Frieza being link leveled in Rainbow probably seems crazy to all of you guys, but I did kind of link level these guys a while ago, anticipating a lot of these easy A's. So yeah, just wondering what you guys are thinking down below. But that's pretty much going to be it from me. I think that's everything that we needed to cover here. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching the video, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. But until then, cheers and bye.